There we go. It all works. Cool. So yeah, this one broke my heart today. This is the oil futures on a 15-minute chart. And let's see, where did all that happen? I think it was here. Start looking at the chart at this point. You can see that there's a lot of momentum going down, right? Zoom in a bit. You can see where all these red candles start going down very aggressively. So when I see the chart look something like this, basically just about there, that's when I'll find support. Probably would have found it here. Most recent support right there, and then the big breakout. So I'd put the level there and wait for the retest. This one didn't happen. It did happen here. Could have done both of them, really. And let's see how that would have worked if we did that. Yeah, this was the one I think that I missed out earlier. I saw it later. See, this is a perfect setup. Again, lots of momentum going down. Here's the pullback, which is a breakout from what was major support. Yeah, that's the big one, not that one. This one here. And breakout from support, retested from the downside, and naked trading setups. You look at this stuff. It's near perfect. It hits the level, even penetrates it a little bit, comes back down. The first bearish candle is this red one. The entry would be the new low, which is basically the bottom of the next candle. Stop above it. No big deal. If you missed that entry, then you have this big bearish candle. You can take this entry further down and the new low there, stop above it, still get a good move. Of course, you have all these bearish wicks. So you had plenty of opportunities to watch this activity if you were watching it at this time to really get into this one. Would have been a whole lot of fun. I totally missed it. Going back to the 15-minute chart, this is it right here. You can see it was a huge move. And then you look for a target. You can see obvious support here. Further down, it went really low. I would have probably picked this area if I was getting into this one. Kind of where the price is right now. So entering right there, going straight down there. And it went twice the distance from there. But realistically, I think I would have taken that one there. Kind of where the price is now, which would already have been a very solid move. And then here's the fun part. I think I saw, yeah, here, look at this one. Let's say you missed out on all this, which I did earlier. Then you see this, it came down, starts to slow down, consolidation. And then you're starting to see this. This is, again, now movement going down, right? You're seeing the momentum go. Once you start seeing the candles look like this, then I'll do the same thing as I did earlier. I'll look for where was support that it seems to break out of. And this one is most interesting, really, because you can see this is a bullish candle. It's a move going down, right? But this is a bullish candle. So that's interesting. You have a little bit lower. You can put it here at the bottom of this hammer. So the way I see it, really, in between these two candles, this is the area for the retest. If it comes back to retest that, I'd be interested. And let's see if it did that in this within this area. I think I saw it earlier that it did. Yeah, right there. Look at this 1 minute chart. So it's all in this area. You can see a massive wick over there. Try to find an entry. I think this one's a little trickier than the previous one. But still, if you manage to get in, I mean, there's plenty of space in this. Turns out I wasn't around when both of these things happened, both these setups. So that's a bit of a heartbreaker. The first one would have been perfect, ideal, where it was up in this area. Pick that one or pick that one of those supports. This is the major one, actually. Looking at it, this is a big one. It makes sense. So huge move, big trade. But I see about 2 or 3 of these on average every day across these few tickers. And, you catch 2 of them in a week. That's plenty. So that's how I'm doing it. Yeah, Dennis, go ahead.
Hey, Avi, how would you determine the target in this case for the oil one?
Yes, so in this case, if I had found that short there, I'd just look to the left, and you could see there's activity here. Now, going down from here, the most recent major support was here. This was a big momentum move right here. You can see it. Once it moved away from this point right here, buyers were here. It was in a firm uptrend. So I believe the buyers are down here. You can take this low and this low. This area is where I'd put my target. So I'd be in there and out there. That would be it. It'd be
What
great.
about for the second case, like for the second drops, there's a new target there, but then the second drop didn't reach the first one.
Let's see. The second one, where did we identify it? It was about here, right? No, what was it? Oh, here, right. In this area. And wait, hold on a sec. Sorry, I forgot where it was. This is something. Hold on. Oh, I think we were talking about it here, if I'm not mistaken. I've lost track of it already. All right, so here you have support. You can see the momentum going down. If you're able to identify the short in this area, you got to realize that this was a big move down, right? So you could have this area. It could, if you take the short there, you could target this. I think it's a bit ambitious. It gets a bit tricky because, you know, these are massive. You don't really want, you don't expect it to go and do this kind of massive move all the time. You can see how unusual this is. The price action is all small candles, and these are a couple of big candles, right? It's some news, obviously. So you don't expect that to happen again. If you're catching the short over here, you can measure this area and go with a measured move, which basically would end up here anyway, just about there. Or again, basically ignore this and go to the left again, and you'll find it right about there. Kind of puts you in the same spot, really. You can see the support there, right? So my primary method, very simply, is to look to the left. Once I look to the left, I can tell you where, you know, there were buyers here. So if you're going short, you want to be careful in this area. So just take it off right there. That's a target. And if you're not getting good RVR going to that target, then don't put it on. Just leave it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. This one would have been good. Actually, I think this is the major support, really. Breakdown, retest. Yeah, it would have been here. That would have put you here and you still miss a bit of it, but no big deal. So I saw a couple of decent ones in oil in hindsight. I wasn't really watching the markets today. It's been a very busy day. I've hardly looked at it. But anyways, it's good. It's fairly simple. I like the way this is working out. It's a fairly simple way of trading. You're just waiting for the market to begin moving, and then you'll catch the pullback. Basically, it ends up looking like that. So this was a big move down. Yeah, all right. I think I saw something in gold as well earlier. Did I? No. Not really. But again, you can see the same thing. You see the momentum candles happening here. Once you're seeing this candle go, second candle and third one, it's halfway up already, and you can tell it's already broken out from resistance. You can put it there or maybe there, but you know, it's all this area. Sure enough, it comes back. Here's your long. That's the retest. If you're able to identify all this. Looking at it right now, it's been in a firm, lots of momentum going down. This is support. Looks like it broke right through it very recently. This could have been interesting. Let's look at it. It's happened in the last half hour. In the last 15 minutes. Firm move down. There's your retest. Oh, man. We weren't even here looking at it. And look at that. The setup is really good for the retest, too, because, again, lots of movement down. Hits the level. Your first bearish candle is this one. Right, and again, hits the level room to the left. You can see the space right here. The momentum breakout, as in it just goes in one direction, doesn't really fuss around, doesn't chop around here. It goes and it comes back, which creates the gap on the chart. This gap on the chart is very important. It just tells me the price doesn't like to be there. It keeps moving from there. And then you get the bearish activity right there. The new 1 minute low is where I put the entry, stop above it, and off you go. So this was a little while ago. And I might actually, if I was in this by now, see it came down, pulled back, and made a new low. This was the low, and then now so far it's making new lows from the previous low. So my stops there, I can bring it into just above this consolidation, not at break even yet. Break even would be right about here, and keep it up in this area. So I already tightened it up a little bit. And you can see now this consolidation, if it breaks through there, then I can bring it into break even and forget about it. After that, your job's done. Then either it goes to the target or it stops you out for half an hour loss. That's the way I'm managing these things. So there you go. Gold is interesting. Well, has been interesting. Let's look at these other ones. Oh, yeah, this was a measured move thing I was playing with, but no activity here. What do we have? We have lots of movement to the downside so far at the moment on the S&P, MES futures. I see that support right there. Breakout, retest. Let's see what this looks like on the 1 minute. There it is. Wow, this also just happened 10 minutes ago. Man, where were you guys 10 minutes ago? What the hell? I was busy putting kids to bed. Man, you guys all better be short on this. This is huge. Look at this. Same story, right? Firm move down, breaking through massive support, coming back to retest it. And look at that. Room to the left, perfect hammer. Your entry's a new low, stop right above it, off it goes. I'd probably have it at break even by now, most likely. Or wait for it to actually go through that low, and then maybe bring it in. You could mess around before it does that, right? Either way, depends how aggressive you are. So that's a fun one. Who's short? Anyone short? You got Dennis for the targets, yeah. Hamza, you got it twice. Look at that. You're all over this market. Good for you, man. Good for you. I love it. You guys are rocking this. I don't pay enough attention to the markets. I really don't. These things happen and I see it half an hour late. Oh, man. But you see, just like this, I mean, I see with this setup, which I think is very conservative, but at the same time, very simple, I'm still able to find maybe 3 or 4 perfect setups every day, and an additional maybe 5 so-so kind of setups, which you want to avoid those. You know, that's the beauty of it. It's very easy to tell what's a good setup and what's not. You just wait for it. I should probably put on some alerts, like some sort of momentum alerts. So, you know, when the price starts to move, and some sort of alert where it measures the distance the price moves in a period of time, call that momentum. If it reaches a certain threshold, get an alert. I might do something like that. For now, I'm just watching 15-minute candles. But there you go. Pretty cool. This one's on its way. You obviously have the low over there. And look into the left. You can see this trend up here that we had recently, yesterday. It started down here. If I was really going with it, I would have probably picked this area as a target. You can see the wicks in this area. Put a support there. So yeah, in this zone somewhere. Put a target. Pick a round number maybe over here. 360, 7360. Leave it there. That one's pretty good. We don't need this. What's going on here? Symbol does not exist. Is the MNQ delisted? You guys know about this? MNQ does not exist. It's probably this, isn't it? Huh. What am I doing here? All right, whatever. I'll figure that later. Huh. This doesn't work either. This doesn't either. Oh, look at that. Nothing works anymore.
I still have those. I think something wrong with your.
Yeah, the market still exists, right? Because according to me, it's gone. The market does not exist. Yeah, something's wrong here. I don't know. I'll have to reset the whole thing. All right, give me a minute. Let me see what I can do with this. It's very unusual. I've never seen that before. Anyways, while I'm doing this, resetting, what's on your minds, guys? What have you all been into today? I'm practicing in the simulator. Shorting. Good. Practice everything. You know, the thing about 80-20 is, you know, you got to identify what is 80-20 as, and what is the one thing that gives you the majority of your results, right? Now, to know what that is, the truth is you got to actually try a lot of different things. And let's say you try 100 different things, you end up filtering out about 90 of them. So only 10 of them actually make sense, which means you got to get really good at saying no, right? No matter all the buzz, all the hype, all the viral videos, all that stuff, you got to get good at saying no, because there's only a few things that truly matter, and you're trying to identify that, right? So let's say there's 10 things and you identify, but to be able to identify it, you got to be really tough and just say no to everything else. And then you'll end up with just those few little things, just a couple of tasks or processes that you need to look at to get your trading to really work. And that's it. Then you're on your way. And then you don't look left and right after that. You just focus on your process and, you know, just nail it down, get better at it, refine it, slowly scale it up. That's 80-20 for you. So simulator is great for that. Back testing is great for that. All kinds of stuff. So that's what, you know, that's how I do it. Of course, you have to start somewhere, get some, you know, material from somewhere, whatever makes sense to you, whoever makes sense to you, pay attention there, start there, and then use independent thinking, and you'll be on your way with the 80-20 principle. That's generally how it works. All right, looks like I got this working again. Let's get it. Let's get the screen share back. There we go. Okay, there we go. Sharing again. So the MNQ does exist. It hasn't disappeared. All right, what do we have? Firmly moving down. Looks like, let's get rid of this indicator. We don't need it. So this looks like it was support right here. And the price went right through it. Let's see if that could have been something or was something. Not the way I do it. We can see it was firmly going down, consolidation, breakout, no retest. Retest has not happened and probably will not. This looks like the move's already done. So leave this one. If you like trading breakouts, sure, it was right there. Personally, I'd wait for it, go something like that, come back, retest, and then go. But not the way I do it. And if I was getting involved here, my target zone would have been here. So the move's already done, really. You can see this chop zone, lots of support. The big trend up started here. So it's in this area that I would have had a target. So leave that one. That one's over. Right now, there's nothing in it. Just sideways. Oh, what happened here? Russell 2000. Oh, yeah, I saw this earlier. I put the line here. Remember this? Yeah, so support, breakout. Let's see if the retest ever happened. Nope. It's on its way. Hasn't happened. Dow Jones, same story. You got support right here earlier today. Looks like lots of good momentum going downwards. And let's see. So this is interesting. It had momentum going down, pull back before the big breakout. I want to see some good momentum going, then pull back, give us the retest, and that could be an opportunity. But what about targets? Targets. Over here, this looks like a target area. Again, this big trend started here, really. But more recently, just zoom into this thing. More recently, you had this move up, which started here, kind of where it already is. So RVR-wise, this is very, very tricky. I don't want to play with this. This is a target area, kind of where it is already. So the move's already gone. And it was never really a big move to start with. So you don't want to short into support, basically. You want to short after support. For example, you have support right here in this area. Once it breaks down, then it retests, then the real move happens, right? That makes sense. You want to make sure it breaks through support. You don't short it up here thinking it will break through support. You don't know that. You have no idea. So in this case, you can see the support area is right about here, and it's already there right now. You don't go short now. Even if it pulls back a retest, you don't want to short it. It's already done the move. So this is imperfect. Don't want to touch it. But let's look at this earlier. Yeah, the support, yeah, the momentum going down. Let's see how this retest and everything look like. So what do we have? Yeah, this is fun. Firm momentum going down. Has a good firm move down, comes back, a little bit of a gap in between, pushes back to the short side. This is your first bearish candle. Then the new 1 minute low would have been an entry with a stop above. That's a wide stop, wider than I normally like. And then you pick a target. If that's your target, if this area is your target and that's your stop and entry, the RVR is, well, I don't know, 2 to 1, 3 to 1. It's not good enough. So RVR would keep me out of this one. Then it gave you some other opportunities here. This is interesting. It did make a seriously good gap here and did a retest. Second retests are a little tricky, but I do take them at times. This one looks like it could have been good, but with the support down here, let's look at this. Was this really support? It was here, of course, today. But previously, yeah, you can see it's in this chop zone. So yeah, same area we're looking at, this whole area. So this would be very tricky, even though the price action is decent or was decent, just because on the bigger picture, the support is all in this area where it is now. The RVR gets very complicated. You just don't want to play with it. Unless you're able to get a very tight entry up here with a stop, and then this area is your target, that becomes 10 to 1 or bigger, then it's okay. But, how do you get that entry? I don't really see it here. There's a possibility here, but it's, now you're playing with fire. You're going more into the gambling side of things, right? So be careful with that. And we looked at oil already. This one's on the way up for now. And gold, yeah, we looked at it. All right, that seems to be what's going on today. Interesting. We've had moves on both sides, up and down. And the day's not over, of course. There could be plenty more ahead of us. So what else is on your minds, guys? What would you like to discuss, go through, have fun with? We just discovered that the market is still there, still alive, even though it disappeared off the screens. It's there. And Dan, who does my hair? Will you recommend me a new barber? I'll go there. We are talking about that earlier. Next time I'll pay attention when the barber's doing his work. I was not paying attention. Just let him do what he wanted. And it ended up like this, like, oops. A little too short for comfort. All good. Anyways, anyone get some decent trades today? And Hamza got some. We saw that. Dennis, you're talking about silver. Silver had a good run. You know, I'd remove silver off the list because I got plenty to look at anyway. But let's look at silver. It's been a while. Silver, 15-minute chart. Yeah, look at that going down. So the momentum started up here, going down. That would have been support. Let's bring a line up there, right there. And target area, well, this is where you can see this trend really began. That looks a little tight, but let's see. If you get the entry here, can you get 10 to 1 going into this area? It can be. Nope, definitely not. Not this way. But yes, it has had a good move down. You think if you saw the momentum here, would you identify this as support? And here's your break and retest. You could do that. But looking at this, all these candles so close together, I would just go with this right here. Wait for that major breakout. You have other support areas down here. The way I see the market, or the way I see price action, I probably would have looked at this as a target area. So I wouldn't have taken the trade. Sure enough, it bypassed it literally, went to the next one right here. You get some of this, Dennis? Get the short?
I was talking about last night when the price went up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, overnight.
I almost got it, but I got stop off, and I wanted to buy it, so didn't get it in the end.
Oh man. All right. All good. It happens all the time. It stops you out, then it goes where you wanted it to go. But here's what's interesting. You can see again the momentum in this area, 1, 2 candles, probably in the middle of this candle. I'd identify momentum. And then this was resistance most recently. So I put the level there, break, wait for the retest. Let's see if all that happened on the 1 minute. Over there, break, the retest never happened and it went. So if I was looking at this at the time, I wouldn't have touched it. You can identify this area too, but this would be tricky because it didn't really go. You can see this is interesting. If you see here, if the candles look like this, right? There's only 2 things that the market ever does. It goes sideways and then it goes directional, right? It goes back and forth. So over here, it's all sideways. Then you see one big candle. Do you call this momentum? Are you ready to identify this as momentum and the fact that it's firmly broken out of this top right here? I wouldn't say that. Yeah, momentum seems to have begun, but it has not truly broken out. I want it to break out and go, maybe it's in this area, somewhere here, and really it's gone there. Like the very next candle gets into this area. Then I'd put the line down here and identify the retest. In this case, it went and then this came right back within this 15-minute candle. So this is not momentum. This is just chop. After seeing this red candle, even before it closes, no interest in this. It's just chop. Then it goes, this is the area where you can see now the momentum happen. Over here is when you really identify that, yeah, there's momentum in it. Then wait for the pullback, which never happened in this case. So be a little careful about these momentum things. The way I'm looking at it, I wanted to break out with momentum. That's the first thing. That's the only thing I'm training my eyes to look at on a 15-minute chart. Let it do all that. Then I'll identify the precise level or the area where the breakout happened. Then wait for the retest. And then execute the retest on the 1-minute chart. So, I like it. Keeps it simple. I don't have to hunt for levels unless it's truly worth it, right? That's cool. Silver. Nice. Saber, you got short MNQ. Exit too early? Oh no. Were you watching it? Were you over trading it? Were you taking partials on it? You do all that stuff, you'll end up too early. Oh no. Oh, the shorts, yeah, it's been a short. It's been going down. I'm telling you guys, the best way to hold for your target is to leave it alone. You don't literally hold it. You don't hand hold it all the way to your target, even though we say hold it for your target. I like to say it, let it run to the target, as in leave it alone, let it go, let the bird fly. And then you'll see magic. It really goes. So if you're watching it, most of the time you'll take it off too early. It's very normal. This is interesting yesterday, the NASDAQ. You can see it right here. Breakout. That was the resistance. Here's your breakout. Here's your retest. Bang. Look at that. Amazing, huh? Trying to nail that one yesterday. Trying to learn to leave it alone, huh? Okay. I'll give you a little tip if you like about leaving it alone. Try and start doing that with other things in your life first, in your daily routine. Small things, bit by bit, things that you can actually let go. And you realize you've just been holding on to it out of habit. Whatever it is, small little things. And there was never any real reason to hold on to it other than habit. Start practicing that detachment in your daily life and every little tiny decision you make every day. And then it slowly becomes a part of your personality. And then you bring that personality to trading. And it feels a lot more natural to just leave it alone. Put on all the risk in the world and leave it alone. It's not actually that difficult to do. You just got to train your instincts, train your brain. Again, just creating a new habit. But to create a new habit, it starts with discipline. As in discipline, as you say you're going to do something every day consistently, and you do that. And 3 weeks later, it's no longer discipline. It's habit. It's instinct. You're just doing it subconsciously. You don't even know you're doing it, but you're doing it. That's how you rewire your brain, right? So it takes those first few weeks of just discipline. After that, magic starts to happen, and you don't know how. You just don't know how, because the subconscious mind really takes over, right? Really does. It's like me at the barber shop today. I went there and literally fell asleep. Went into like meditation mode. I do that whenever I get an opportunity to like totally lay back and cut off from the world. I don't fall asleep. I just do the meditation thing. Well, that wasn't the right time and place because see what happened. But that's instinct for me. So, try that. Just start building it out in your daily life. And it really becomes a part of you, part of your personality, part of the way you function subconsciously. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it. That's the only effective way I've ever learned to break old habits and create new ones. The only effective way. Everything else is just a freaking Ponzi scheme. Just do it right. Be real with it. Be real about it with yourself. That's very important. All right, what else we got here on the screen? I don't see much to talk about on the price action side of it. We can talk about more important things like psychology or the new Michael Jackson movie. More important things, right, than price action. It's kind of boring right now. I feel like I'm always online at the most boring times of the day. Not much going on. Yes, Abby, you're welcome. No problem at all. You can take that one step further where you we talk about self-improvement and all these sorts of things, but where you envision what kind of life you want, right? Whatever it is, or your goals, put it that way, vision boards, those sorts of things. Even write it down, create a collage, whatever. And once you identify that, then you can, once you have the picture, Then you can identify the elements of that picture, and then you identify what you need to do to achieve those parts of that picture. So you can literally write down things you need to do, and then that has got to become actionable. So you start acting on those things. Put it in a routine. This is what you do every day or 3 times a week or whatever. You start doing that, and really a month later, it doesn't feel like something new anymore. You're just doing new things, and it's generating, it's creating your whole new life, and you're doing it now subconsciously a month later or 3 weeks later, whatever. It's just that first step of pushing your comfort zone. That's always the issue. When we're human beings, right? We like comfort zones. We like ice cream, right? But you know what? Don't have that ice cream before bed. You'll see, you'll sleep better. Just building new habits. So you can build it out in many ways, as in you can really change a lot of things in your world. I'm speaking from experience with this one, and of course I've read all this stuff before, but I wouldn't be speaking about it if I didn't start using it. I'm talking about using it from many, many years ago. And then you bring in the 80-20 principle to that. Now you got something else. So lots of ways to do lots of things. Quite literally, you can create anything you want. I mean, it just starts with imagination to begin with. It's just that. It's a little spark. That's where it comes from. Everything comes from there. So don't be afraid to imagine. Imagine what'll happen if you leave this thing alone for 8 hours. That's the biggest risk you've ever put on. And you've gone, you're on a flight somewhere. You're totally disconnected with the world. You're flying off. You're on an 8-hour flight. You put on a position. Let your imagination run wild for a minute. You never know what sparks will happen. Yeah, try it. Try. Daydreaming is a healthy thing if you know how to do it right. Just don't do it at the barber shop. Effective daydreaming, as in intentional daydreaming. Put it that way. That's another way of saying the same thing. Intentional daydreaming. It really creates a lot of reality. It creates your own reality in your head, which then creates your actions, which creates reality. It kind of works that way. If you like to rationalize these things, I don't like to rationalize them. I just know the effect of them, and that's what matters. All right, let's look at this. What do we got? Still nothing, huh? It's only been a few minutes. See oil where it is? Lots of plenty of momentum, but look to the left. That's a chop zone. This is where it likes to hang out. It popped out of there, got here, got choppy, it popped out of there. More recently, got right back to it. This is not a place where you trust it. Expect sideways activity for, I don't know, probably the rest of the day. The oil market. Man, a year ago, I would have been all over this hammer right here. I would have probably identified a level like this is a support zone somewhere. Does hammer happen just like this? Big reversal. Go with it. Different kind of trading. Totally different. Oh, well. Anyways, what else, guys? It's 9:10 p.m. here where I am. Let's have something interesting to talk about, shall we? Otherwise, I'm going to have to get into my bedtime routine fairly quickly. So I got the new videos up online from earlier this week. Just had them posted about a half hour ago. So take a look if you like. It's just recordings of our sessions earlier this week. I can get them out there as quick as I can. Yeah, not much going on here, huh? Hey, you guys still like trading the New York Open? Anyone in here active in this session? Like really active, as in trading? Pretending to trade, but really losing money? Anyone? No? You guys. You're all laughing. What do we got here? just another 30-minute candle for you, huh? I'm saying, okay. Funny. Yeah, it's a 30-minute candle. Now, if it's 30 minutes, does it move faster or slower? It's an interesting thing to think about. We know the market is volatile at the New York Open, excessively volatile, but it's just a 30-minute candle. It's only, it's the same thing at the end. The difference is really if you're watching it in real time or you're not. So, I mean, look at these. These are 15-minute candles at the open. It's just another candle. It doesn't look any different. But if you're sitting there watching this thing, man, whoa, you guys know how it goes. It's very jumpy. Doesn't really work. Ollie, you're asking, don't draw 4-hour levels anymore. No, Ollie, I don't. I was playing with that for a while. It's been good fun. But it doesn't align with me very well, with my personality and the way I like to see the market and my belief system. I mean, it kind of is there, but there's a lot of friction, bit of a nuisance, really. So I don't know. I'm working on this much simpler way of doing the same thing, really. And all I've done is kind of reverse the order of operations here. Rather than drawing levels and waiting for the price to get to the level, I'm watching the price first. If the price demonstrates momentum, like speed, like it's on the way, it's moving, right? It's directional, then I'll draw a level. It's moving and it goes through some sort of support or resistance. Then I'll draw that support resistance and wait for it to pull back to it and give me a retest. I don't get alerts, Ollie. I don't do alerts. At the moment, I don't have alerts on at all. So the couple of massive oil setups that we saw earlier today, I wasn't a part of them. I wasn't looking at it. I didn't have any alerts on. But that would be interesting if we can figure out some sort of alert that will tell us that, and something like this, for example, the price action is here. It's just going sideways. But the moment it starts to go like this, directional, what kind of alert can you have that'll tell you that the price has begun moving? Anyone have ideas? If you know any ideas, let me know. We can explore that, create some alerts. For now, it doesn't really bother me because I only look at the market. I only really check on it when I know that I'm actually alert and awake and available and not distracted with other things going on. And just doing that, I've been able to find 3 solid setups every day on average, 3 or 4. So I don't really feel the urge to have alerts at the moment, but we can figure it out if you're curious. Momentum alerts or something like that. There are all kinds of alerts out there. I'm sure we can easily find one that already exists if you look around enough on TradingView. But I haven't taken the time to do that at the moment. I'm not interested. What are you saying here, Hamza? You always wait for it to close, then decide if you want to trade the pullback or not. Yeah, there you go. That's very similar to what I'm doing now. Just waiting for the candles. I mean, it's amazing. Even looking at this 15-minute chart, it's like looking at a screenshot. I mean, we're all experts on trading screenshots, right? We can look at all the price action. Oh, yeah, that would have been the entry. That would have been the exit. Yeah, right. Sure. Go trade. But then can you make real trading, live trading, close to a screenshot? I figure you can. If you're looking at a big enough setup, a big enough time frame, and like you said, you're waiting for the candle to close, then make your decision. And that's it. The decision is you can literally put a limit order. If the price gets here, this is where my entry is, this is where my stop is, this is where my target is. Okay, done. I was doing a bit of that with the footprint charts. No big deal. It can be done. It's actually very, very simple. But you got to make a few firm decisions in your head. Like you are trading a screenshot. You are not interested in live, real-time action, right? You make a decision at the close of a specific candle. And after that, if the next candle makes a new low or a new high or whatever, you have your entry right there with the stop right there and the target right there. And that's it. Irrelevant of whatever else happens. So actually, a lot of naked trading entries that I do are like that on the 1-minute chart at least. So not too complicated. I think I saw a good setup on, was it here? I shared the screenshot earlier, actually. You know what? Let me take a look at that. Which ticker was that? Let me find that one. MNQ. Oh, yeah. Around what time? Yesterday. Okay. It's funny. 4 p.m. around the market close yesterday. For me, that's like 6 a.m. I'm awake and looking at the market. Where was this? Here, huh? That's unusual. Let's see now. Looking at yesterday's activity here on the 15-minute chart on the MNQ, you have all this momentum. So at first, if I see the candles going up here, I'd put the level here. And you can see it got choppy. It never really came back anyway. And you have this overhead resistance we'll be careful of. So once it goes through this area, oops, right about there, you see the price goes. This is going, breakout from here. So the price is up in this area someplace. Then the pullback is, this is the kind of trade I'm looking to take. Let's see how this would have worked out yesterday. Zoom right into it. There it is. That's perfect. Oh man, look at that. I should have been here yesterday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, look at these perfect setups, right? Plenty of momentum on the 15-minute chart. We saw it come up, break through resistance. So the price is probably in this area by the time I draw this level. Wait for it to come down. You're waiting for genuine bullish activity before you enter long. And this one is interesting because it came down, big candles coming down. This is interesting. This one didn't just come down. This went up first, then came down. So you know the buyers are coming in. And then this one's basically indecision, wicks on both sides. Then more indecision, but close slightly bullish and more buying than selling with the wick. So that's interesting. Sometimes I'll put a half size on the new high with a candle like this. If this was a full hammer, I put on a full size. I've done this kind of thing with options before. But anyways, this is not perfect. That's why you don't put on full size. I'm waiting for a genuinely bullish candle. So if you can pass on this one, the next one has wicks as well on the upside. This has a reverse hammer, so you don't play with it. What else? Red candle, mixed. You have red, indecision. This big red candle, more indecision. This also has a wick on the upside. It's tricky. It's tricky. Look at that. Indecision, lots of selling up here. This one is interesting. You see, this is the first real hammer. You could consider this one. Entry would be the new high with a stop below it. If you're conservative, you have these lows. You can put stops below them. A lot of times with options, I'd put the stop right here, right below it and go. I've done that many times. And if you look to the left, let's see. This was the precise level of resistance. Let's draw the line on it. Right there. A retest happened. It got higher and higher with this hammer. So you're looking at these higher lows. This hammer is the last one. Yeah, this makes sense. I'd probably enter here these days. Previously, I would have entered with options over here, go and get out of break even, or maybe if I had a wider stop, smaller size, I'd be able to add with these wicks. Every time it puts in a wick, I'd be adding in and then take it off here. But that was options. That was 0DT stuff. This is different. So it makes sense to enter here. And then, yeah, well, made quite a move. This would have been hard. Hard to hold through, but here you go. Look at this. If you held through this area, right, sky's the limit. Who was that we were talking about? Struggling to hold. Saber, that was you, right? Look at this. Here's a fun part. Man, I give so many people so much shit for this, but it's all right. A lot of times everyone is really zoomed into these 1-minute charts because they're looking for the tight entry. And I agree with, I think it's a good idea. You're trying to get an entry and a stop to be very close together. So you need to be pretty well zoomed in. But the moment you do that, my whole idea is zoom out. Forget about it. It's done, right? Just zoom out. The problem that happens is people put it on while zoomed in and they stay zoomed in as it goes in their favor or stops out, whatever happens. And then, it starts looking like this. By the time it's up here and you had your entry here, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's huge. What a great move. I'm in this. Yeah, I'm making $1 million today. And then the moment it starts to have a couple of little bit of little red candles, start taking it off and be like, oh, wow, that was huge. Fine. I love it. I had a great day. Yeah, right. And then what happened? There you go. See how small this is? This is a joke. You can't make 6 figures in a day with this unless you really, I don't know, you're stupid enough to put millions of dollars in your trading account. Even if you have $100 million, you don't fund it with $10 million. It's just stupid. At that point, you know how to use leverage and without exposing your cash. Very important. That's what stops are for and all those things. So you see this? This is huge, massive. This is how you get those 20R trades. This would have probably been one of them if I was paying attention yesterday. Amazing. The whole thing was here. Once the momentum came in this area, that's when you start paying attention. That's when you can identify the resistance and the breakout, the retest of the breakout at that previous resistance. Turn previous resistance into support, and off you go. And all this stuff, this is none of your business. As in, what I like to say is what happens with the price after you put on your risk is none of your business. If it happens to go in your favor, you can tighten up your stop at least up to break even. And then really, once you got it at break even, it really is none of your business. Leave it to run to your target. You probably identify a target up here, and that would have already been huge. And then it went further in the last couple of minutes of the day. It's pretty cool, right? And this is the kind of trading I'm doing these days. It's really great. I'm telling you, find 3 or 4 setups like this in a day, and I've been able to find it without really being at my screen all day. It works. It's really good, really simple, and you get this kind of thing. And even here, if you manage to get 1 or 2 setups and 1 or 2 stops, let's say you stopped out twice, and the third one works. I think this 20R beats your 2 stop outs, right? Or 3 stop outs. It's fine. But it's this area that screws everyone up. This whole section, you see? Again, with the whole zoomed in nonsense that you guys are, I don't know, just succumbing to all the time. This stuff right here. You enter, starts to move, and it starts to do this, and then I start getting messages. Oh, is it going to reverse? Is it going to pull back? What's it going to do? I'm going to tell you, it's none of your business what's it going to do. None of my business either. Leave it alone. It could stop you at a break even, fine. Or it could give you 20R, more money than you've ever seen in a day. Either way, give yourself an opportunity. Give yourself that opportunity to make 20R. You know, that's really important.
Abi, was that the big move was a high all-time high?
This one here, I don't know. Let's look at it. Where are we? Lost my way on this chart. There we go. So we're looking at it here in this zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looks like it was all-time high, I believe. Yeah. Fun, huh?
Okay, what is your idea if we don't have any target above and reach this level like this?
Yeah, so whatever bigger time frame you're using, start with that to identify your target. I'm using 15-minute, and what I do is I like to do the measured move, which I use this. So let's measure out some distances. This looks interesting. This is you got resistance there. You got support here. Oh, this is interesting. Look at this. Oops. So I'll put it this way. You see, this was firm resistance. This was a big move up, right? Came down. Later on, it turned this into support. Resistance turned support. Then you have this resistance. So I'm measuring this area, this distance right here. So this is the target. This is the distance of the move. So if it breaks out from here and does a retest at this white line from this, basically from this high, the amount that it's going to go up is this amount right here. It's a measured move. So let's just take this measurement, stick it there. There you go. That's your target. Pretty close. That's how I do it. Just measured move. You measure the consolidation, and then the next one is just the same distance. Going into the 1-minute chart, how would that have been? The move, yeah, pretty much captured the majority of it, right? And again, that's actually a good question because it's really important to know your targets. Once you have a firm belief in your target, then you will be able to hold through all this nonsense right here. So your entries in this area, stop, you go.
Would you please switch to 15 minutes? I want to check the measure move.
Sure. Where'd it go? Here we go. That's it right there. Zoom out a bit. There you go. So looking at firm resistance, which we have this obvious one, then you're trying to identify support. Like you had support here, but most important ways of identifying levels are levels that flip their orientation. So in this case, right here, you can see this was resistance. Here's your pullback, then it goes. So this was firm. We know that. That's important. Later on, actually, it also turned into resistance again. And here it turned into support again, break and support. You just put a line on it right about there, at the top of that candle. That's an important one. It breaks out. It breaks down, turns into resistance again. Then it breaks out again, turns into support again. And it's pretty clean. It's not chopping up and down this line. That's actually very interesting. So that's when I'm hunting down levels. That's one of the key things I look for. At what point on the chart does the price flip-flop, as in it respects it as resistance, then breaks out, then respects it as support? In this case, we see it here about 3 times. So that's why this one makes sense to me.
Okay,
And
from here, from this, the big green candle on the left to the next move, I think the candle, no, yeah, here.
Here?
You measure from here to there, am I right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
This was the previous high. So the chart would look something like, probably like this when you're doing this, right? You're trying to, you know that this is the all-time high so far. And then let's say you're anticipating the breakout. If you get the break and retest, how high is it going to go from here?
Okay.
That you start looking at the activity, the most recent activity, and you can start measuring it. And like I said, here you have an obvious level right here. So this was a big aggressive move. Whatever happened here, news, buyers, whatever, this is where it stopped. This was huge. Something stopped, a massive candle, and then it resumed normal activity after that. So there's something that happened here. And then sure enough, look at that. It turned itself into support again, right about here, same area. Let's put the line on it right there. Put it there. Because again, it turned itself into support just about right there. It's near perfect. And even when it broke down through it, check this one out. It went firmly. It didn't just chop around. This was a big red candle going right through an important price point. It's probably a lot of big money playing over here at this level right here. And sure enough, and it did a firm breakout, as in it really went. It respected it as support. Look at that. And then respected it as support again. Then you go. So this is a key level. So I'll take it from here. And then this is obvious because this is all-time high, right? So that's the measurement, this much. I'll just take that measurement, put it at the top as the same distance of where I'm going to start a new measurement, which is this all-time high. Then how high is it going to go? So that's how I'll just put it there. Simple enough. And that's it. If you're getting the long here, there's your target. And it overshoots a bit.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So measured move, it's one of the easy ways to find targets when I don't have candles to look at to the left, like all-time highs, stuff like this. This is easy to do. So it's, yeah, use it. But the key is, however you find targets, you must believe in it. Because if you don't believe in it, if you don't believe in your target, you know, I'll show this to you. This is the idea that we're talking about. This is the price action we're talking about. You have the entry, you're brilliant with the entry, you don't even get stopped out. You find your entry somewhere here and you're going. It's a tight stop, it's all good. And it starts to go, then it starts to mess around here, a couple of red candles. And look at that big red, and you're seeing lots of wicks on the upside. You just take the whole thing off here. That's what you're going to end up doing if you don't have a belief system in your target, as in a genuine belief in the target. And then that's the real target right there. You would have missed out on this whole thing, or the second half, which is actually more than half. This whole move you would have missed out on. And most likely would have taken off here, down at the bottom, not at the top. Because you don't have a target, you just freak out when it goes against you and you take it off. That's what everyone does, right? You all know this. That's why always have a target in mind and don't mess with it until it gets to your target. I mean, just don't mess with it. Put it on and leave it alone. Don't mess with it at all. You know? And that's where the big trades really come from. But if you put it on and goes a little bit, you start taking partials, 5%, 10%, whatever, all that. I don't know why you do that. I don't know why. Why are you shooting yourself? You know, just leave it. You're here to make money, not to just play around in the market like a little baby. So have a target in mind. Make sure the RVR is solid, like 5-1 at least. This would be closer to 10-1 if you found your entry within these candles. And off you go. Man, I should have been here yesterday. This was a good one. What the hell? I should probably start paying attention to the market a bit more. There's so many opportunities. It's ridiculous. So many. Anyways, let's look at, I think I saw another one more recently. Like that was yesterday, but more recently, like earlier today. Where's the momentum in it? Is this it? This doesn't make any sense over here, so I'll chop. Oh, I don't see anything. This is interesting down here. Yeah, we talked about this area already. Here too, and this was all news. Yeah. So there you go. Very simple. Do all the hard work to find a setup, and then you just screw it up by taking partials and getting out when you freak out at 1R, 2R. You'll never make money that way. It's not that you don't know how to read charts and candles. Everyone knows how to read that. It's like you don't enjoy making money. It's more psychological than anything else. So get that right. Believe in your target. Find a way of identifying targets that you believe in. And then, all that happens. What do we got here? Alerts and no alerts. Tick charts, yeah, no tick charts. I played with them. They were fun. You saw me in the last 3 months looking at tick charts, footprint charts, different time frames, line charts, all that fun stuff. Explored the whole thing. All good. Traded live with them as well. It was good. Made money. But it doesn't, I don't know, it just feels like with the way my mind works and the way I like to operate, I didn't find enough freedom in that. I feel like I was just getting all the time a little too involved in the price action and too granular, too detailed with ticks and with footprints. And it just, again, it wasn't 80-20, putting in too much effort for basically the same result I could get with naked trading. So I decided to step away from that, take a big look at it all and simplify it. What can I do with it? And about an hour of pondering that, looking at a little bit of price action, I figured, you know what? This is a lot easier. Why not just go with price action first? Forget about everything else, as in candlesticks first, which for me is always first, because that's how I really got involved with the markets, was always candlesticks first. Everything else came later. So let me just go back to my roots and use what I really know I'm good at. So just read price patterns, and I can always tell when it's going sideways or when it's going directional. I don't think that's hard to tell. I mean, most people can see that. So just wait for it to go directional, and then pick the pullback. Well, pick the retest of the breakout, and then it's a matter of what time frame can I use to really identify directional movements. And I explored all the various time frames. The 30-minute is the one that I've used the most in the last, I don't know, 5 years. Looked at that first, but you can't really identify momentum on that. Not for this kind of trading that I'm doing. 4 hours way too big for this. And I went all the way from the 1 minute all the way to the 4 hour, all the time frames. I landed up on the 15. It makes sense. I can identify this quite often, quite easily. And I missed quite a few too, just because I'm not looking at it. Too busy doing other things in life. And it's still plenty of opportunity, right? So yeah, that's how I landed here. Got rid of the tick charts for now. And the footprint charts, don't really need them. But I have them. I know how to use them. If I ever think they will add value to my trading, then I'll bring them in. No big deal. For now, it's good like this. Yeah, Hamza, go ahead. Don't be shy. Use the microphone. No? Broke your mic. Anyways. Oh, all right. Well, it's past 9:30 here. I should find a way to wind down for bed. If I start looking at candlesticks, I'll stay up all night. Any last couple of things I want to discuss? Happy hour tomorrow, Hamza? Oh boy, you guys are dangerous. I don't like happy hour anymore. There was a time when I used to enjoy it when I was younger. I can handle it. I can't stay up all night these days, man. It's different. Like a year ago when I was younger. But yeah, no, definitely. It's a good time. I love it. We'll come hang out. No, we'll come hang out for sure. We can talk about trading and the stories of the week. I got to listen to Jackie more. She always tells me, go get offline. You got to get to bed. I'm always like, no, I'm having too much fun hanging out with everyone here, getting to know everyone in a different context. I really enjoy it. I enjoy it too much. I stay up all night talking to you guys. So, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. It'll be fun. We have the last trading session is Brian. He'll be on at 1 p.m. Eastern. Was it noon or is it 1? I think it's 1 p.m. Right after he's done, we'll roll into happy hour and play poker and blackjack and all that fun stuff. Yeah. Cutoff time, Hamza. Yeah. Can you be the moderator for that, please? in Dubai time zone, okay? Do it that way, please, if you can. That'd be all right. Oh, look, some news just hit. Market's going down again. More drone strikes. Something. Anyways, good fun, guys. I'm glad I was able to come on at least for this little while. And yeah, I'll try and talk to y'all soon. Tomorrow we have the usual program, Jill at the open, and we have the whole trading day. And it is Friday, so we'll try and get into the happy hour thing. Be there. It's a lot of fun. We don't record them because it's very informal, and it's just a matter of us getting to know each other and having a good time, blowing off steam, all that stuff. So try and make it. That'll be fun.